therefore I was not one to come up with all the quick words and well da 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 da. I'm just gonna hit you.
This is an interesting take on this. This is interesting because I feel like kids have to be taught how to engage in not verbal combat, but verbal conflict resolution, resolving conflicts verbally. What you're describing, though, is when two young people get into it and they cussing each other out and they going back and forth. And you're right. If a person stutters, and mind you, to our listeners, I never even noticed that the D stuttered, and I've been knowing her since the mid 80s. Okay. But because you went through speech therapy to learn how to control it. But what you're saying actually makes sense. A person who stutters is not going to do that verbal combat back and forth. No. And so what you would do is diffuse the situation quickly by punching faces. But that
then I start stumping.
That will result in you being labeled a bully.
And
because
that's how I ended up in the social service profession.
From a history of being labeled a bully.
Yeah.
And punching faces.
Yeah. But I really wasn't the bully. They would start and then I'll finish it. I never picked on people.
Right.
Now
I don't remember you being a bully.
Yeah, exactly.
But you were intolerant of mess.
Exactly.
The problem with punching faces quickly, though, because due to being unable to do that verbal combat, is that some of those situations could have been diffused verbally, but D, you took it to a punch and to the physical level,
and I guess it goes
which
back
will
to
get
what
you in
said.
trouble.
Yeah, it did. And I'm gonna go back to what you said earlier. Is that once again, our parents or our grandparents, or our great-grandparents, our aunties, or uncle, who's ever raising you, they are your first teachers. And my great-grandparents raised me, as you know, I always say this. And my great-grandfather, he was a fighter. And he said, do not be sitting up there going back and forth. Because don't do all that. You're either going to hit or you're going to leave.
Either punch them or keep it moving.
Yes.
Okay. And I did, between the two, you chose punching.
I hit. Yeah, because you weren't going to call me no punk. So I'm going to hit you.
Okay. And so this is how the D was labeled as a bully.
Yeah. But I wasn't a bully.
I really don't think you were a bully.
Just the people who I punched would say that.
Yeah. But
they started it.
D, and in fact, you are generally a lot of fun.
Yes, I love to kick it.
Yeah, because
I am the party girl.
Yeah, you are a lot of fun. Bullies oftentimes are not a lot of fun because they're too busy bullying and being mean and all these different things. And you've always been a lot of fun, D.
I think it was sometimes the bullies would try me because I'm kicking it and I'm just having a good time and they'll try. You tried the wrong one. I never knew
why you were fighting in school, though. What were those fights about, D?
Well, a lot of times it'd be
boys.
A lot of times it'd be my friends. I'd be helping my friends.
Oh,
because then too many people mess with me. But they will mess with my friends. And even growing up being grown, I still have the same problem. Like women will mess with my friends and they be like, D, they'd be like, D, full fig, I ain't got no problem with you. Yeah, you do have a problem with me if you have a problem with my friend. Because I'm not going to let you put your hands on my friend.
Right.
So then a lot of times it'll get squashed because they don't want to beef with me.
So a lot of these fights, you were helping your friends.
And my cousins, Kim and Kate White.
That was what I was thinking about. Hold up. Oh my goodness.
I remember my cousins.
D, I didn't know they were your cousins.
Yeah, they're my cousins. So
I remember you and them, and like they had a lot of fights. Listen to this. To our listeners.
You know, if you relatives, one fight, all fight, and they were twins and sisters, and I was by myself. So we all was
in high school
because I wasn't getting in trouble. When
there were more girls fighting than guys fighting. Because I don't really remember guys fighting, but there were certain girls who had ongoing, it was like a war with subsequent battles.
Yes.
And those were the two I was thinking about before you mentioned them, Kim and Kay.
Kim and Kay, my cousins.
And Veronica would be,
and Tracy.
you know, in the mix. Loved Tracy White.
I know you do.
Love Tracy. Tracy White just had a sweet spirit.
She did.
Veronica White, I'm not gonna say anything, but
she almost just killed somebody.
I had a crush on Veronica White back in the day. Yeah, but
JP
Tracy
has
was,
a thing. I'm telling you
Tracy
guys,
was the one
JP
who was
has
just
a thing
really
about
sweet.
light brights. Okay, I'm putting it out there. He has
Tracy,
a thing about light
I
brights.
don't think. Wait a minute.
Let's bring up a picture of his wife. Light brights.
Oh my God! Oh, we have lost control of the show.
I'm sorry. The professor says that's a whole nother subject.
Okay. She was like Veronica White, Mercy. Yeah, back in the day. But I was in a relationship with someone.
Because he's not a cheater.
Right. But I frequently told Veronica White that if I was not in a relationship, oh yeah. But her sisters, she fought a lot too though. But they seemed to fight more. And it literally was an ongoing battle. They were fighting a particular young lady who I went to middle school with. So I knew her, and then I knew Veronica and Tracy. I never really knew Kim and Kay, but I always thought it was over a guy or guys.
I think it was too, or jealousy. I don't know what it was, but I would get called in, or somebody would say, "Stacy, your cousins is fighting." I'm like, "Oh no!"
Them was some fighting. They somewhere fighting right now.
No,
probably.
they have actually calmed down.
You sure? They fought so much that they just punched somebody while we doing this show.
They probably did, but they have calmed down now.
Okay.
Kay
and they were twins.
Yeah.
One was a little quieter than the other, right?
Kay was.
So she probably was fighting to help her sister.
Yeah, because Kim was the one with.
Okay.
But Kim would get down, though. Don't get it twisted.
And they were all beautiful.
Yeah.
That's
and
the
they
reason.
were little. We weren't even 5 foot tall.
That is the reason why I think they were popular when we were in school for two things. One, them sisters is like 4 of them, and they were all
It's
beautiful.
actually 5.
Who's the other one?
Trina. She was younger.
Where is she?
She's a twin too. Auntie had 2 sets of twins.
Wow. Okay.
And
so
one
she
boy.
wasn't in high school when we were there.
She wasn't in high school when we were there.
Okay.
Actually, she was probably there when you were there, her and her twin brother, because,
Really?
Yeah, they were. Because when we left, she came. So in 86, we left. She came as a freshman.
Oh.
Her and her brother.
They must not have fought because I don't remember them.
They're easy going.
But I remember guys in our high school would be like, ooh, them sisters are so fine. But do we try to talk to them because they clearly punch a lot of faces? You might get punched just for asking for their phone number because they was fighting a lot. Okay, so but the D, I just want to say the D was not a bully, but you were fighting a lot. This was in the 80s. I'm just now finding out why you were fighting so much. You are cousins with the famous fighters from our high school, and you were fighting to help them. Because I should have asked you back then, D, why are you fighting so much?
It used to be like 5 or 6 of them that used to know, y'all not about to jump on my cousins like that. And I didn't want to get in trouble when I got
Chicks
home
was
either.
after them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they would come to me and be like, D, it's not even about you, but you fighting my cousins. So, yeah, it is about me.
Girls were after them.
Yes.
And I did kind of think, is it because they're really pretty? Like
some of it was that.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
Well, D, thanks for clearing that up. For everybody out there who thought the D was just a bully and was just fighting to be fighting, she's related to the fighters. She was helping them.
Yes.
And they were tiny.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, they were tiny.
Yeah, and they wasn't gonna do.
But they was some for real boxers,
bangers.
though.
Yeah, they were from Missouri.
I promise they are somewhere fighting right now.
No, they're not. Actually, one lives in Atlanta and one's still here in the Kansas City area.
And Veronica's here.
And Veronica's here, yeah.
Veronica is somewhere fighting right now.
No, Veronica's not fighting.
Veronica is not fighting right now.
Veronica she did shoot someone last year, though.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Literally, she shot someone.
Mm-hmm.
How did she end up shooting someone?
Her husband's side chick, because, she does hair.
Okay.
So she has a whole beauty shop.
Where is it?
In Missouri, right off of Raytime Road.
Okay.
Somewhere, okay.
If it's people after, let's not say the address.
Yeah, I wouldn't know the address anyway. But the side chick came in there into her establishment and jumped on her.
That's the wrong sister to be jumping on.
Yeah, but she got her from the back.
That is the wrong.
And she kept her gun right in her drawer,
Oh,
because she had a salon. So people was robbing salons and things of that nature.
Yes.
So she had her gun, and she finally got away from the girl, because the girl was sort of beating her up because it was a surprise,
Caught
the
off
element
guard.
of surprise.
Caught
yeah.
off guard.
Boy, she
Sucker
shot her.
punch.
Yeah, she shot her up though.
Did the woman live?
Yeah.
Please say the woman.
She
lived.
did.
Okay. Are they done, or is this gonna be like high school and they gonna do this like 10 more
I don't know,
times?
because it's a little young girl. She was a little younger, because mind you, Veronica's in her 50s. And this young girl's like in her 20s or 30s.
Oh.
So yeah, she gave her a run. She gave Veronica, because once again, it was a surprise, the element of surprise.
Well,
So
yeah, because at 50, we're really technically, there's not supposed to be fighting at
are we
50.
supposed to be retired? I had a fight at 50.
At 50,
51, remember?
yes, D.
At the courthouse.
Right. But technically,
And I broke her arm.
now you gotta explain to our listeners about you fighting at the courthouse,
Okay,
because they
everybody,
like,
y'all know I'm a bail bondsman. I tricked someone into going to court. She was talking on the phone to her boyfriend, was texting, and I'm looking at the text because I got my eyes fixed. I could see.
she
tomorrow.
did get her eyes fixed.
I could see what's going on tomorrow.
I'm sitting here with cataracts.
Yeah, I better get them done. If you get them taken out, it's a brand new eyes.
I need to get them done.
You need to get them done. And anyway, so she was finna leave, and I followed her, and I grabbed her, and she punched me in my face. And I had to do
Did
the
she
beat down.
know that you are over 50? Who's punching somebody
No, people
over 50?
don't think I'm over 50.
Well,
though.
you don't look over 50.
Yeah, they don't think
You
it.
look like you still fighting age.
Yeah, like my children. They swear that me and my children are brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And my oldest just turned 39. Happy birthday, Brandon.
The downside of not looking, I think 50 is the cutoff for fighting.
It
Ain't
should
nobody
be,
50 years old supposed
because
to be
I was
fighting.
hurting for a whole week
Really? From that workout?
from that workout. But guess what? I broke her arm. No, don't mess with no Great Dane. You still in the puppy? It's puppy rounds, boy. I'm a whole Great Dane.
Oh, my God. Oh, stop.
Wait a minute. And I know I'm on World Star somewhere, because this old man was like, baby, I ain't seen a beat down like that in a long time.
Oh, my. Listen, I think that 50, really, we need to set a cutoff. We're going to do this on the show right now.
Okay, cut off.
What is going to be the age cutoff for physically fighting? At what age, Mr. Walker, Professor, y'all weigh in on this.
18.
Mr. Walker, like,
Said
if you over
18.
18, quit fighting. You grown. Stop fighting. And you know what? I like that. But definitely, I really think 40 should be the cutoff for fighting. When you 40, you might hurt something.
For
fighting.
real. For real.
The D, you in your 50s fighting on the courthouse.
I was hurting for a whole week.
Because that's a workout.
It was a workout.
You are
But I
so-
did tell my trainer, because I be boxing. I was like, because my trainer told me I got a hard and steady right.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
that's what and then I took her by the arm, and I must have slang her, because I broke her arm, and
Oh.
I don't even know how I broke her. I don't know, did I slang her or did I
Fighting
stomp her?
in the 50s. That's the D. Fighting in the 50s. Okay, well, for your cousin, Veronica. Veronica, she in her 50s. She's probably a grandmother. Please
She
let her
is.
know that we have set a cutoff of 40.
40 is the
She
cutoff.
does not need to fight no
No
more.
more
She don't have to
fighting.
do that no more. She don't have to shoot people either. Tell her she can stop shooting people.
But they better leave her alone.
But if the if the age cutoff for fighting is 40, that probably means more people gonna be shooting because they're like, well, I'm too old to fight, so now I gotta shoot.
You gotta
Okay,
shoot.
so please, people, stop punching and stop shooting. Okay, D, what's your check-in? Can you update us? Because the D, as you all recall, the D met a new man. D,
Oh, it's
tell
over.
us about the man. Why is it? You said he was wonderful.
He was. He was.
What is the problem? We might be able to fix this.
I
How
think
long
it's-
has it been? A week? We just did the show 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's been a week.
We can fix this. What is the problem?
I'm just too much.
We gotta fix you. You the
I
problem.
think I am the problem.
What? How are you too much?
He just said that he can't match me.
In what way? Is this about money again?
No.
And business and all
I
of
just
that?
think it's my drive. Like he says that he just can't believe that I still be up at 8 and 9 o'clock.
But you're not
working.
asking him to be up with you. Why was this a problem? He's a business
Because-
owner also.
I know, but it was when he got ready to have together time, and he was sort of sick.
Get you, yeah.
No, just a together time.
Voulez-vous? Oh, okay.
Just
Okay, go
like
ahead.
sitting up. He enjoyed, like we were reading a book
Quality
together.
time.
Yes, we were reading a book together. We
The
had
Bible.
sit down. No, we wasn't reading the Bible. we was actually reading a relationship book.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, like I said, he had some real good things, and we parted as friends. I mean, cool. Because he said he got
You
this-
weren't available enough
basically, yeah.
because that's what it sounds like it was. His issue is you work too much.
But it's not
And
the
he wanted to
quantity, it's the
snuggle and cuddle
quality.
and rub and pet and do all of that.
It's the quality.
But
And I
you're
think
saying it's
men
not about
really-
quantity, it's about quality.
quality.
But what he was probably thinking, let's look at this from a male perspective. He probably was thinking, well, yeah, it is about the quality, but if the quality time is in such small quantity, it wasn't enough to sustain him in between. Like, how often were y'all seeing each other?
Like 2 to 3 times a week.
What? That's a lot.
But he only lived 10 minutes away. So it wasn't that bad.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
How often did he want to see you? Y'all just met a month ago.
Yeah. I just think that I was really above his pay range.
But
And
he had
like-
his own business.
I know. But, a lot of times men like to feel needed. And maybe I don't make men feel needed enough. I mean, hell, I got to need you about my house and my car and my yard. Isn't that enough neediness?
Ladies, please stop.
Huh, Mr. Walker? Is that enough neediness? The house, the car, and my yard.
You don't need them for that because all them bills get paid when you're in between
No,
relationships.
I'm talking about when something's wrong with my car.
when you ain't
something's
got a
wrong with
man,
my
you keep your
house.
car running. When you don't have a
'Cause I have
man, you keep
friends.
your house floating.
I have friends.
Okay, you here's the thing, because we send in a mixed message. You do not need a man.
No, I don't.
Period.
No.
Women, stop dating men who need to be needed, because that is a self-esteem issue. That is a form of insecurity if a person needs to be needed. Because if a man needs you to need him, that means you are filling his cup. You don't want to enter into a relationship with somebody with half a damn cup. Half is 50%. 50% is an F, a failure. They are a failure as a human being if they come into the relationship half, okay? You want somebody who is whole and complete, you're whole and complete, and then y'all come together and you complement each other. You shouldn't have to fill his cup and make him feel needed. He should be secure enough within himself
And I thought he was.
to not need to be needed.
I thought he was.
And this goes vice versa. It goes both ways, okay? The same thing, I don't want women gravitating towards men who need to be needed, but men need to not gravitate towards women who need to be needed. That is a person, you're filling them up, you're completing them. Life is not a romantic comedy where somebody is complete, you complete. No, fools, be complete. If you're not complete, don't be trying to enter into relationships. Coming into the relationship and you have a person and you need this person to complete. And at our age, any fool that you dating, D, they need to be complete. Okay.
I thought he was until you pull back some of those layers.
Because we went through almost like a checklist. Because the issue of him being insecure because of you being an entrepreneur and your income, that was not an issue.
No.
But this is on an
he lives in a $1 million
level.
House.
This is on an emotional level. He felt like you were not available enough to meet his emotional and psychological needs. The problem, though, is if you were seeing him 3 times a week.
And plus, I made him very nervous.
So he wanted to see you more, but he was nervous when he was with you.
Yes.
Nervous in what way?
He'll be picking it. He'd be like, I don't even do this until I get around you. Just start coughing real bad. Weasley.
But he wanted to be around you more.
I made him super, super nervous.
This doesn't make any sense.
He said, when I'm around you, you just make me super nervous. I talked to him about my boy, and he was just like, man, I don't know what it is.
That might be the real reason why it didn't work. I don't think this was about, because here's the thing. You were meeting the quality and the quantity. If you seeing somebody 3 times a week that you just met a month or 2 ago, because when I was single,
and we would talk on the phone all the time,
I did not have that kind of time for somebody that I just started dating. So this wasn't about the quantity. He had anxiety in your presence.
In my presence.
And so what y'all needed to talk about, this actually might be fixable.
No.
Well, let me explain. Let me explain why. Y'all needed to have a conversation about what was triggering anxiety within him. Was it something you were doing, something you were saying? Was it?
He just said whenever he'll just see me.
That's not enough.
And
what was it?
He said he could just see me. He's like, he'll start it at the corner. When he turned the corner, it'll start then. Like turn the corner to come to my house.
The anxiety. Let me explain, everybody. He needed therapy, and I'm going to tell you exactly what type of therapy. Because a good therapist not only assesses and diagnoses, but they know exactly what type of therapy that fits the person's condition. He needed insight-oriented psychotherapy. Insight-oriented psychotherapy is basically where he would come in and say, this woman makes me nervous. This woman makes me nervous. I don't know. I get all nervous when I get around this woman. I don't know what it is.
And I want to be around her.
But I want to be around
her.
You know. And so what the therapist would do is help him peel back the layers one at a time, digging deeper and deeper and deeper until he gained insight into what it was about you that was triggering an anxious response. Because it could have been connected to something from his past, previous relationships. It could go all the way back to childhood.
And it could have. But I think a lot of it is that he said he had never dated a woman like me. I'm like,
what does that mean?
What does that mean? And we
in what
discussed
way?
on that. He said that I'm just firing on all different cylinders. He was like, you got your own house, your own car, you got your own businesses. He said, and
back to needed to be needed.
And you're not struggling.
Needed to be.
He was like, you have all of your alls, but you're not struggling.
Broke broads.
Exactly.
He needed a broke woman. So he needed to be needed financially. And his anxiety was triggered because you have a personality
And he don't,
that is,
because he is so quiet.
well, but that could have been the anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Decreased speaking, decreased speech is one of the symptoms. But being in your presence, because you are,
A boss.
well, you're extroverted. You're literally a boss.
I'm a boss.
You're literally a boss. You're an independent woman. You're educated. You have your own business. And so if he was not accustomed to those
He's
types
not.
of women, and if he didn't, and this also speaks to the family of origin, because I have found that men who come from families where the women are not independent, self-sufficient women, they are uncomfortable around those kind of women. And for me, as a single person, it was the opposite. I never dated women who did not have it going on.
Exactly.
Because I come from a family of women who they was serious about
Bosses.
making their money. They worked, they made their money. I tell people to this day, my mama made more money in the 70s than I make right now. Okay? She didn't play about her money. And so he probably just, he had never been exposed to. Now, this gets into something else.
He was a hood man.
That, how'd you know where I was going? I wasn't going to say that. I wasn't going to say that.
What I was going to say it then?
Yeah, I was going to say it differently. What I was going to say, what I was going to say is that professional women sometimes struggle with dating men who are not professionals, because professional men are accustomed to being around women who are independent women, who are entrepreneurs, who are professionals also in some way. So they're not totally exposed to just broke chicks.
Well, I have had that problem with even with a couple of professional men.
Why?
Because
why are they insecure with a professional
because
woman?
they want a woman to feel needed on them. I mean, like literally, I dated a district attorney. I have also dated a doctor, and they were the same way. Like, I'm just like, what's
but
really
they
going
work
on?
in a world of professional women who are go-getters, who are independent, but at home they needed you to be June Cleaver.
And I could be June Cleaver because I'm a boss outside.
June Cleaver was not a boss
June
outside.
Cleaver was not a boss.
So you talking
I
about
could be
Claire
June-
Huxtable right now.
Yeah, I could be Claire Huxtable.
There's
Thank
a big
you.
difference.
Big difference. I can be Claire Huxtable, but they wanted
They
all,
wanted
all the
June
way. They want
Cleaver,
June
though.
Cleaver. They want June Cleaver. So I don't know. Am I just? I mean, and guess what? In my last husband, all of my husbands were the same way too.
Why do you attract those
I have
kind
no
of men?
idea.
Because I know when I think about my frat brothers and like, I know men who they don't want no broke chick. They don't want to be needed financially like that. They want a woman who is independent.
Oh, that's what
you
they
talking
say
about.
in
Wait a
your
minute.
eyes.
You thinking about somebody. I don't think that's
people
what
be
he wants.
You know, people be watching. So calm down.
Okay. I wasn't
No,
okay. I
what I'm
wasn't
just
thinking about him, but
saying-
I wasn't thinking about him. But I'm saying.
But see, what they say when they're with their friends, they're different.
Okay, read
let's see
read
the
the
message.
because we stirring people up right now.
One just came out and said facts, and you're giving out facts.
Yes.
And then the other one was that, hi y'all, I missed you guys last week, so that was from a fan.
Oh well, thank you, and we glad
We
to
was
be
gone
back.
for 2 weeks.
I was on vacation. Yes. Okay. I want people to weigh in on if they agree or disagree with this. D, why are you attracting men who are insecure in this particular way? Even professional men who can't handle a
Yes.
professional woman.
Yes.
For one, that's a rarity. I don't think that's common.
See, you don't know how it happens in those four walls. They will act one type of way out, but then in those four walls, they become different. Because I'm thinking they're bosses too.
I'm thinking about my male friends. They appreciate dating and being in relationships with women who are able to go out, make the bacon and fry the bacon up and do all of that. I don't have any male friends who have a housewife. None. None of my frat brothers are in a relationship with something, and I'm not.
And
This
hell, I
is
don't
nothing
wanna be a
against housewives.
housewife.
Hold on, let me just say this because I don't want to piss off all the June cleavers out there, okay? Nothing against being a housewife. That's not what I'm saying.
I wouldn't mind having a house husband.
You're dating men who are the total opposite of that.
I know.
I'm not.
All right. As you get ready to go, we got one more comment there. It says, some boss women refuse to be submissive in certain situations. Most established men don't want the battle with an assertive woman.
An assertive black
And that
woman. That's
is
what
true.
they mean.
And
they
that is
they
true.
talking about an assertive black
Black
woman.
woman. And
the
that is true.
stereotype of the black woman. But and this is true. Now, do you go out of your way to not come across as dominant and
Yes.
overly assertive?
And that
and
has
et cetera?
only came over me in the last 6 years after I went to a Proverbs 31 woman's. I went to two.
You adopted that mentality.
Yes, I went to two two conferences.
Oh,
and
really?
yes, I really did.
They giving conferences on
Yeah,
that.
at different churches, yes, because I really wanted to be the best wife. I was in my 50s, and I'm a believer, and if I'm going to be a believer, I wanted to be a whole rounded one.
Well,
not in
yeah,
this
yeah,
area,
yeah.
in this area, but I wanted to be a whole rounded.
wanted to cover
so
all
I
the
wanted to be the
bases.
best wife I could, yes,
Okay.
and the best woman as I could. So that literally is what changed me and made me be a better woman. So in the last 6 years, the men that have came across me,
It didn't work. It
What?
did not work. What that viewer is saying that men don't want these dominant, professional, take charge women. They at the office managing 20 or 30 people and coming home and bossing him around. But D, you go out of your way to not emasculate. And here's the thing.
definitely.
I don't think a man should feel emasculated because your wife is a boss, because your wife is running out and baking bacon and frying it up. Like, that shouldn't
and
emasculate
doing a
you.
gourmet meal with it. How about that?
That is insecurity if you are emasculated by a successful woman. But even in a situation like yours, where you went to workshops to be sure that you learned how to not bring that into the household, that personality, that mentality, which means a workshop where you basically learn how to not make these insecure men feel emasculated, and
Exactly.
it still has not worked.
It's still not working.
So the viewer is telling the truth, but what's unfortunate is that even if a woman is able to leave all of that at the doorstep and come in the house and make her man feel like Ward Cleaver, it's still not enough, because he knows
he knows.
that outside of the house,
Yes,
she's a boss.
she's a boss.
And so he
basically,
takes it as
my
being
last
fake and
husband
phony.
told
He's
me,
like, this ain't real, because I know outside of this house. What these men want is a woman who is home all day.
or just
Literally,
work at a call center.
she better not be making no money, basically. She needs to be broke. She can work outside the house, but she needs to be broke. That's what they are needing in
He
order
want
for them to feel
They want
needed.
the woman to be broken.
But if your masculinity is centered around a woman needing you on that level, and you having to be above her and on a pedestal and doing more than her and making more than her and being more than her, and she can't be crap. She has to be broke. She has to be making hardly no money.
Hold on, we got another comment.
Because I'm
Wait a
getting
minute,
all
we got
worked
another
up.
comment.
Says, if you notice, Cliff allowed Claire to be the dominant figure in the home, but she knew when to be submissive.
That's right.
For her man's comfort. What did your last three exes say was the problem?
Ooh.
What did they say?
What did
last
they
three?
say was the problem? Because apparently were you truly pulling off Claire Huxtable? Were
Yes, I
you
was.
being
And then it says also they need a needy, broken woman to feel good about
Yes.
themselves.
that's
Yes.
insecurity.
Yeah, they were insecure.
But what were the men saying? That's
they
what
all saying the same thing.
which but
They said, Stacey's nothing wrong with you. I can't compare to you. And that's what
So
my
their
my
complaint-
ex-husband said, that he do not want to be Stedman to my Oprah. And that's his
which
exact
and Stedman
words.
actually Stedman
got money.
he himself is a millionaire.
Yes, he is.
But compared
He's
to
not
Oprah,
Oprah's money.
he's sleeping under a bridge.
Exactly.
And so what these men and this most recent guy, who is also an entrepreneur, you said he lives in $1 million house, but you still was doing too much.
Yeah. He said that I walk into, wait a minute. He says that I can walk into his shop and everybody will stop and be like, wow, you got you a bad one now. And I just walked into the shop.
But he somehow did not like and appreciate that. He wants you to come in there broke, busted, your house shoes on, you got the
Baby,
bonnet,
can I get
you got your
$30?
bonnet on, you got your bonnet on, you got to come up in there looking just a scraggly
no,
mess.
but he loved the way how I looked. He loved my beautification days.
On the surface, he loved
Yeah.
it. Deep down inside, it
did.
caused him anxiety.
Caused him anxiety.
And this is a common problem because we have a friend who was in a relationship with a guy who on the surface he was okay that she owns her
So
own
he
business
said.
and she drives 3 luxury cars and she lives in a beautiful home, but as the relationship wore on, he stopped coming to that house. He didn't want to be in that house. He could not handle it. And so sometimes, I'm not saying that these men are lying. I think that they really do believe that they can handle a successful woman on the surface. It's after they get in the relationship, if they're not accustomed to those kind of women, they end up discovering I can't handle it. Now, what our viewer is saying basically is that sometimes women think that they doing a good Claire Huxtable job and they're not.
oh, I am.
And the men end up feeling emasculated because she's doing too much.
Yeah. No, I did. I was good. I
Well,
was very
because you've been
mindful.
talking about this Proverbs, like you have
6
been
years in.
on that.
So the other question is then, so how controlling do you feel you were? What accountability did you take from the last 3
Ooh.
relationships?
Ooh, that
How
is good.
controlling do you feel that you were?
I don't think I'm very controlling at all. I do have one thing. I don't call a man that much. Like literally.
Because you busy working.
Exactly.
My wife don't call me.
Exactly.
This woman ain't called me in years.
But when I call, I mean, this is my number one thing. But when I do call, you need to answer the call and be like, babe, I'm right in the middle of something. I'll call you back. Or shoot me one of those little texts, sorry, I can't talk right now. Acknowledge me. And then another thing that I tell a man,
But you don't call a lot.
but I don't have the bandwidth.
Do
to
you
call a lot.
respond when they call?
Yes, I
Because
do.
these sound like men who blowing up your phone in the middle of the workday.
No, the last one he really didn't. He did a lot of texts. He did do a lot of texts because he were busy too.
Damn it, go
So I
somewhere
would-
and work.
So I would text. I got my morning texts, my midday texts, and things like that. Now he did want to know when I'm leaving the office, when I get home, and those wasn't bad things. I could do that. And then and we had a conversation one day, and this is number 3, and I basically told him, he's like, "What do you want from a man?"
Which was his way of saying, why do you want a man? Because you don't need him. And he's trying to figure out where his place was in your life. What do you want from a man? Because he's thinking, I can't give you nothing. You have everything. You are totally independent. You provide yourself with everything. But the answer to that could have been,
Can
you
I
want
tell
the
you what I
emotional
answered?
connection.
Can I tell you what I said?
Tell me, D.
I said I want Boaz.
He didn't know what that meant.
Yes, he did, because he was a very religious man. He was a very spiritual man.
Okay,
He-
so
I said the only thing I need.
Our listener says now, what do you want from me is what he was saying.
yes,
Exactly.
which is what I just said. That's
Okay,
a good.
are,
Now
are,
that's a
are
good
y'all
listen.
gonna let me finish?
Well, come on, cause
I said I want Boaz, and I'm like, the only thing that I need from a man is to love me, protect me, and guard my heart. It wasn't nothing else for me to say.
okay. So why was he still insecure
I
after
have
you
n- I
presented?
have
You
n-
want to know why? Because in his mind,
It wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough. He's like,
wasn't
that's
enough.
he knows he can provide that, but he needed you to be needy on other levels.
And I told him I needed somebody to cut my grass.
Stop. That wasn't enough. He needed you. He needed June Cleaver.
He needed June Cleaver.
The difference between for those of our listeners and our viewers who are too young and y'all don't even know what the heck we talking about. Okay, Claire Huxtable was an attorney, an educated professional,
Super black family.
who also in the home she cooked, she handled the household.
Took care of what,
June-
5 children?
Yes, and that was from the Cosby Show.
Mm-hmm.
June
Free Bill
Cleaver
Cosby.
from Leave It the. What'd you just say?
Leave it to Beaver.
Don't make me say that Bill Cosby need to drop dead on this show right now. He's a serial rapist. June Cleaver from Leave It to Beaver was a true housewife.
Housewife.
She did not leave the home. She kept an immaculate home.
And only had 2 children.
That even when they did scenes with the kids' bedrooms, they were never dirty. The house was immaculate. She was a true so you're dating men, because here's the difference. We're talking about 2 totally different eras. June Cleaver, that show
60s
is
and
from the
70s.
the 50s
50s and 60s?
even.
Really?
And Claire that was a modern
80s,
professional
90s.
woman. So you are dating men who are antiquated and living in an era that we are well beyond.
But they
Stop
say they're
dating
not.
these old-fashioned men, D. You need to date a modern man. Therein lies the solution. We got to get to the question of the day. The solution.
And one of your listeners is laughing out loud with a lot of laughing faces on.
About
there.
what I'm saying about June and laughing at the D. Well, the D, she's hilarious. But here's the thing, D, why you dating these old fashioned fools instead of dating a modern man? Even your doctor and your assistant DA or whatever he was, who they present as modern men,
They
they
present.
work in a world with professional women, but they still were not modern men.
No, they're not.
And so, ladies, this is what you have to do. You have to date a man who not only functions in a modern world, but he has modern mentality. Because you can meet a man who functions in a modern world, but he's got these antiquated, old-fashioned, outdated myths and beliefs about what a woman's role and what a woman's place is. See, and I didn't grow up in a family with those kind of women. There was no housewife. I don't remember no housewives in my family.
Well, my great grandmother was a housewife.
I mean,
I was raised in a 2-parent home, so
okay. These men,
wasn't even raised in a 2-parent home.
D, you gotta switch up your whole dating game.
I know. I just don't know what to do.
I'm disgusted with the people you dating.
I
They're
am
not a
too.
good fit.
I know, but they seem in the beginning.
They're insecure.
The 30-day challenge.
These are the conversations you need to be having early on.
I am, and they lying.
Okay.
And I mentioned transparency. Transparency.
This is ridiculous. I had hope for this one.
It is bad out here being single.
I had hope for this one.
I did too. He was doing a whole hot tub for me and everything. Now somebody else gonna be in the hot
Okay,
tub.
this is a good segue into our topic because you're an entrepreneur, and the question of the day today is: my boss is a bully. Your men would be like, my girlfriend is a boss. She's dominant. Okay, Hopefully they didn't think you were a bully though, D, I'm sure. My boss is a bully. How do I address it without getting fired? Okay. Here's something to think about. Something that you said, D, is that a lot of bosses are bullies, and I'm going to explain why. Bullies gravitate towards positions of power because bullies in adolescence, that is about empowerment, seeking negative power, because there's positive power and then there's negative power. Negative power is when you feel the need to disempower another person in order for you to feel powerful. You only feel powerful if you are in some way controlling someone else physically, emotionally, or psychologically, which is what bullies do. They are exerting power and control over a person that they view as being weaker. And so it makes sense that as they move towards adulthood, they are going to go from having negative power to having official positive power in the form of being a supervisor, a manager, a director, etc., etc., etc. Here's where the problem comes. A president, yes, okay, because we had a president who basically was a bully. He was a bully, and he's still somewhere bullying right now. The problem with these types of bosses, and this is what I don't think applies to you, D, I don't think you're a bully. These types of bosses that this question is about are bosses who also, even though they have official power now, they are conducting themselves as that bully that they were in high school with that unofficial negative power, and they interact with their employees in a manner that makes them feel demeaned and less than, because you can manage and supervise someone without demeaning them.
Oh, most definitely.
You can do it without making them feel less than, and that is who this question is speaking to. Now, here's the thing. What role does your own power play in being able to confront them and in deciding if you even can? And that was the question, because as I thought about it, it's like, okay, how can I address it without getting fired? Well, the first thing you got to figure out is
it's a hostile work environment. I'm going to HR.
You got to figure out if you're in a position where you can confront them. Here's the ways of confronting them, because I believe in confronting bullies, period, across the board.
Confront
no
everybody,
matter.
kick the door down. We're kicking the front door down. That's what
I'm real
JP
big
does.
on confront.
Yes, that's what JP does, is kick the door down.
There's multiple ways to confront a bully in the workplace, though. You can confront them directly. Here's the thing. But you have to have some level of official or unofficial power if you're going to confront your superior directly. Here's why I say that. If you are in a position where you are also a supervisor, they're just your supervisor, or as an employee, you're a valuable employee, meaning you bring in a lot of dough, then you can confront them directly, because on some level they need you. And so there's not as much threat of you ending up fired because they need you. Now, if you're not bringing in a lot of dough,
you might be in
which
trouble.
means you don't have unofficial power, and you're not also some level of supervisor, which means you don't have official power, you might want to go through HR and address the
hostile
problem.
work environment.
Or go to their superior. Okay. But you need to document everything thoroughly. Document the
Then
specific
EEOC next.
Yeah, and because you might have a good lawsuit, you have to document not just how they make you feel, but the specific actions that they are doing that are inappropriate and unprofessional. You can't just, well, this person bullies me, or, they make me feel. No, you addressing bullying in the workplace requires you to present the facts. This is the interaction that I had with this person. This is what this person said to me that was inappropriate or unprofessional. And in presenting it like that, you're also saying, okay, they were mean and they were being a bully. But you have to support that with evidence that has to be concrete. Okay. And so, but it really is about your position. And so, D, when you think about it, when it comes to your employees, yeah, I'm sure you're direct and upfront and very clear and concise because they are representing your business.
Yes,
right.
they are. Yes, they are.
But do you think you interact with them in a manner that leaves them feeling less than and demeaned?
No, I don't believe in making people feel like that. I don't want them to feel like that.
Which means you're not bullying them. And here's the thing, smart administrators realize you get more out of your employees by building them up than by making them hate you and hate working for you.
Actually, my nurse said that the other day. She gave me that compliment. She said, Stacey, you just make everybody feel like they the stuff. You're good.
Which makes them work harder.
Yeah, they do.
Which brings in more money for you.
I respect my older ones. I call them Miss, even though I'm the boss.
Right.
I still respect them as calling them Miss Sophia.
Miss Sophia.
Miss Sophia. Yes, I do. I put that Miss or that Mister on it.
Because when it comes to the mentality of administrators, and we already did a whole show on this, so we're not going to go deep into it. You guys can pull that up on our Facebook page. But some think that the best way to get the highest level of productivity from employees is through fear. And that's not true.
That's not true.
Your most productive employees are going to be employees who have a positive relationship with you. They are happy. They respect you. They love the fact that you respect them. They actually enjoy working for you. Those are the ones that are going to work hard.
I do check-ins on my employees. How's everything going? Everything going good with you? Yeah.
And those are the employees that are going to be willing to go above and beyond.
Yes.
When you rule with a fist fear and all of that, those employees may meet their productivity, but because there is resentment and animosity, they're going to do things under the cover and behind your back that you never even going to find out about.
Exactly.
Because
Stealing time.
Yes, all of that. Because every employee is in a position where they can exert their unofficial power in ways that you will never find out about.
That's right.
Milking the clock, taking stuff that is company merchandise, just all sorts of things. You have people who they are doing a little bit of tweaking in the billing and all of those different things. You don't have time for that. So don't try to manage people in that way. Okay? Those are my thoughts on that. D, did you have any other thoughts on that?
Nope, you hit it right on like you always
Okay.
do.
We only have like a couple of minutes left, but I only need a couple of minutes to answer this other question of the day. My child lacks empathy. Should I be concerned? This is a question that came from a parent who the examples of lacking empathy was lacking empathy for situations that were actually kind of small. Like he was making noise in the morning and woke up his brother who had worked late at night. That's not a sociopath.
No.
Right. Here's something that I want parents to know about adolescents, about teenagers.
Because they're a whole nother beast now.
They are. But on a scale of 0 to 10, teenagers don't become empathetic unless something is at least a 4 or above. If it's a situation that is 0 to 3 and you're expecting them to care and feel bad because they woke somebody up or no, they're going to appear to lack empathy in those situations. The true test of your child's level of empathy is when you sit down to dinner and you discuss world events. You discuss a 80-something-year-old man shooting a black teenager for knocking on his door. Was that around the corner? Mm-hmm. See, when you discuss,
I was not going to bring that up today.
Those life events. That's where you assess your child's level of empathy. If your child lacks empathy for people who are truly suffering, who've experienced true injustices, those types of things, that's gonna be a better picture of their level of empathy. If they don't care about tragedies and trauma, then you need to be concerned. Then you need to take your kid to therapy to see if you have a budding sociopath on your you know.
Yeah. And I just want to hit on that real quick. I remember when my children were in high school and 911 hit. We was working at the mental health center.
Yeah.
And I immediately took off. And when I went and picked my kids up from school, they were like, "Mom, I'm glad you came and got us. I couldn't handle it."
Empathy.
And that let me know. And they were in high school.
Empathy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And even when I called my mom and told her I'm coming to get her because we just finna have us a dinner. We was just finna eat.
And just
she
be
was
together.
like, I was just finna call you.
That's
So,
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's our message when it comes to teenagers. You have to keep in mind that they are teenagers. They are adolescents. They don't sweat the small stuff.
They really don't.
They don't
They don't
care
have to worry
about little
it.
crap.
They don't have to worry about it. And also, lady, about you talking about your son is getting ready to get his mind ready to go to school. So that's some of the reason why he's so loud in the morning, because he's getting himself ready with everything that they have to deal with now in school. It's a lot.
Right.
It's a lot.
Right.
And the only reason why I know this is because I have my grandson. And he's like, honey, I have to get myself ready in the morning to be able to deal with all the different things that goes in school.
And he's not going to bust out in tears because he woke you up.
No.
And be like, no. Teenagers don't have
they
empathy
leave,
for little stuff.
The guy can go back, the brother can go back to sleep once he leaves. Come on now.
Right. There's a difference between a kid who lacks empathy if you all are in the store and he sees a 20, 30-something-year-old fall and he laughs. And the difference between that and if he sees an 80-year-old woman
80-year-old fall, yeah, he's going to go and try to help.
He's going to go help. He has empathy.
Yes.
So just because he laughed at the 20-year-old who fell, don't be like, my kid doesn't have empathy. Oh, my God, he's a sociopath. No, now if he laughed at an 80-something-year-old man or woman who falls, then you might need to be a little concerned. You might have a heathen on your hands. All right. That's our show for today. Are we good for today, D?
Yeah,
Did we cover
don't talk
everything?
about nothing but me and my dating life. But hey,
this show is for the single ladies.
It is really bad, you guys, but it's bad. But I promise it's gonna get better because I have a whole checklist that I ask God for every night.
All of our single lady and our single men who are dating, they all needed to hear this show. We could have did the whole show on that. We had to rush to get to the question of the day.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
And we have done a single show before.
Clearly, we ain't did enough of them.
Can't be.
All right, that's our show for today. Thank you all for joining us. And remember, worry about nothing.
And pray about everything.
Thank you, and God bless.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold up.
I already said God bless, hallelujah.
I know. Okay, I just want to let everybody know that there's a possibility that JP and Stacy D may not be on next week because us old people are going to go see Janet on Tuesday, and it might take 2 or 3 days for us to recuperate.
We'll be at that Janet Jackson concert. It's old for Janet.
It's old. All right, then. Bye, everybody. See you maybe Thursday or next Thursday. Bye-bye now.
Oh, my goodness.
What if Atlantic?